Hello everyone, it's Mr. Hutton here. Unfortunately, because of the restrictions, we can't be in school making things, but here we are, and I've done a screencast today so that instead of doing a live stream, you can pause the video, you can go back over things if you don't understand, and there's a lot of lagging yesterday, which is not good, so I've done a screencast. Hopefully it's better. Now, the project we're going to be working on for this half term is a structural engineering project, civil engineering project, and I want you to really think about being an engineer in that particular situation. You know, you have problems to solve. Now, the problem I've come up with is a footbridge. You need to be thinking about designing a footbridge that is amazing, something that is truly unique, something special, something eye-catching that's going to really put you as a young designer somewhere, you know, to a fantastic place. Now, the idea is that this is a bridge which is only for people. It is not for cars, it's not for motorbikes, it's not for motorised traffic, it is just for people. Now, people come in all shapes and sizes: buggies, wheelchairs, scooters, prams, dog walkers. So you need to cater for all those people. However, it won't be for, you know, lorries, cars. So it's a footbridge. Now, the footbridge is across a ford, and a ford is a waterway. So in the old days, what used to happen is horses and carts used to be able to cross a river using a ford. And if you look at the picture, you can see what it is. They've just built up the river, in this case with concrete, so you can actually go across it very easily. You know, perfect if you're in horse and cart. If you're on foot or if you had a buggy, this is not a good situation for you, getting wet feet. So we really need a footbridge. So you need to be coming up with a design for a footbridge which is, again, really, really special. Now, the whole idea is that this is an icon in the community, something that's recognisable. And a lot of walkers, they will have a walking guide, and it will say you're going to now cross the, you know, Red Bridge or wherever it might be. So you want something distinctive. So it's something on the landmark that people can, you know, a landmark that people can see. So I'm going to go through the steps. Now, first of all, here's a view from the side of the water. The waterway is about 10 meters. So if you've ever been to a swimming pool, most swimming pools, the width is about 10 meters. So that's the kind of expanse of water that you're going to cross. So it's not a massive, gigantic bridge. It's a footbridge. It's a footbridge. On either side of the bridge, there's about 7 meters of space, of room. So you could put something there if you wanted to. Some foundations, some supports for your bridge so it doesn't fall over. But you can see here, looking from the side, the water, I've drawn the highest point. So if you wanted a bridge that just went straight across in a straight line, that's totally fine, you could do that. Now, there's lots of criteria for bridges, and I've looked in particular at BD 2917. Now, this is a British standard that looks at what should be happening for footbridges. So instead of just coming up with some wild and wacky ideas and thinking, oh, well, that wouldn't work, let's look at the criteria and make sure before we even start designing we're on the right, you know, we're on the right page. So in particular, you need to think about, it's a footbridge not for motor cars. You know, they are not on it. Motorbikes are not on it. It's only for people. So you need to be thinking about all users. You need to be thinking about every single situation that could happen so people can use the bridge. So what might happen? Two families meet with buggies going in opposite directions. Would they be able to get through the bridge, you know, without banging into each other? The access, you need to make sure that there's no steps. Now, steps are a problem, you know, for all manner of reasons. So you need some kind of ramp at either side so people don't have to walk up steps. A real problem. How are you going to stop people going across on a motorbike? You know, there's lots of ways that you can put simple barriers there to stop people doing that. There should be no concealed places where people could hide. So you don't want somewhere halfway that people jump out and go, boo, You don't want that. You want think of a design that doesn't encourage vandalism or graffiti or scratching or paint. You know, how could you come up with a design that's kind of a bit more empty, that people don't have something to draw on? It's not, you know, a canvas. It's something that's got space in it, that lets in a lot of light. You need handrails at either side, so if there's an elderly person, they can hold on, and the walkway has to be non-slip. So walkers in the countryside, muddy boots, etc., they need something that's non-slip. Now, the first thing you need to do is to put all these ideas together in a mind map. The users, the aesthetics. The aesthetics mean, what's it going to look like? What's it going to? Is it blue? Is it silver? Is it made of wood? What's it look like? The safety features, the environmental features, the cost, and the robust and the maintenance. So, for example, the walkers. I've done a list here. It could be local people, dog walkers, runners, mums and babies, even horse riders. Could a horse go across the bridge? In terms of aesthetics, have a think about what you think is important. Is the shape, the size important? In terms of safety, we've obviously got the non-slip floor, no hidden places. What else could you have to make it safe? The environmental concerns are really important. You're in a rural location. You can't just go in there with lots of big, heavy machinery and start ripping up the countryside. So how are you going to minimise that? The cost, you obviously can't have a massive budget, millions and millions of pounds. That's just not feasible. So how could you make sure that your design is on budget? Because nothing in the world, you know, needs to overrun or be too expensive. And finally, it's kind of robustness. How is it going to withstand all that weather? Think of the worst day, the worst weather you can think of. You know, storms are raging in. How are you going to make sure that that bridge is not going to be falling? Imagine the situation, you have a storm and it's blown away, or things are falling apart. So have a think about that. Next, I'd like you to do some research. Now, research is one of those things that's very difficult, isn't it? You know, I'm not looking for a random load of rubbish, the first thing you find. I'm looking for something that you have handpicked. So I'd like at least 4 pictures. I've done page 1 and page 2. And what we're looking for is a picture and a simple description. So, for example, here, I've found my 2 favourite bridges. The first one on the left is across the River Thames. It's beautiful, it's sleek, it's modern, it looks great. It's the sort of thing that, you know, would complement any house, you know, any building. Wow, look at that beautiful bridge. The one on the right is different. It's made of different materials, more sustainable materials. It's made of wood. It's made of, you know, a variety of materials. It's going to have a different finish. So have a look on the internet and give me some ideas. And more importantly, write in the box what you think. Now, coming to the hand-drawn designs, we're looking for you to kind of put your ideas on paper now. You should have done the research. You should have done some thinking about it. And we're looking for your first ideas. Now, what I'm looking for are, you know, ideas that are coherent, they are relevant, they are well drawn. You know, don't just draw, you know, any old rubbish and think that's good enough. These have got to be good. And then you look at my examples here. I've used my ruler throughout. I've used my ruler. I've taken my time. I've done a really, really good job. And each one of these is very well considered. It's not just a random load of whatevers. It is good quality, and I'd rather you do 2 that are really, really high quality than 4 that are poor. So take your time, do a good job. Now, if we have time, going on to your final design, we're looking for all your ideas to come into something that is reasonable. Now, your ideas might change over time, you might change your mind, that's absolutely fine. But let's try and put something down on paper now that you can say, well, that's something to aim for. Now, here's my design here. I wanted a circular design, and in between we have 4 struts going out at angles, and in between that we have more support bars. I quite like it. It looks like a bit like a spider's web, so I thought that would be quite nice in the countryside. So put your ideas down on paper, and more importantly, when you've done it, you need to send it to me. Now, you can either take a picture like I've done. I've just taken a picture, using my visualizer, and you need to upload it to the Teams folder so I can see it and give you feedback. Okay. Now, if you don't have the pieces of paper, or you don't print it, you don't have a printer, just do it on a piece of paper. You know, all you need to do is write down, for example, here, first technical design, and draw it on a piece of paper. You don't need any printing, it doesn't matter. Take a picture of it, and then you can upload that picture to Teams. Now, I'll be on Teams throughout the lesson, so if you have any problems, message me and I'll get back to you. So good luck with that, and as I say, I'm looking forward to some fantastic bridges.